we were talking about just like staying in the know and staying updated on stuff. Like I know for me at home, I like when I would come home from work, I'd be it's still kind of some of that stress we've been talking about, but my wife doesn't have that, and so a lot of times she would talk to me about like oh, this many people have died in this country, or we're up to this count in Arizona, or we're up to this count in the state, and I would just find myself getting stressed out, like even more. Like, man, I just wanna go move some dirt in the back. I don't want to think about that kind of stuff until I got to go back to work, and so I had to shut that down initially. But which at the same time, she kind of reminded me like, hey, I need to be able to process stuff out loud too. It's like, all right, I get it, I hear it, but I mean, let's be mindful about both sides. But I told her, it's like, I get it. And sometimes it's all Facebook statuses and this person saying that. You just don't know anymore. Like, you don't know, like, what news is real and what's fake, And so I know for me what's been of huge value has been, and really for the main source of like my peace of mind and awareness with what's going on is our department sending out the strategic notes. Mm-hmm. So like a daily meeting that our department has with the union and whoever else is involved, and they'll send out an email. I think that meeting's around 4 or something, but it gives us like updated information. And what I really like is how it talks about like the local impact, and so it helps like kind of whether that's at the Air Force Base, we've contracted this, or on the south side of our city, like that community is being affected by this way or this way. In other words, of confirmed cases and whatnot. And I remember even back to when at the time in the state we only had 9, I think is one I can remember. And then now, I mean, I think we're close to 100, if not over at this point. But every time I would look at it, every day, like for the most part, it would give me peace of mind, So that's kind of what's been reliable for me, because, geez, like. You just never know, and I think we've all seen, especially through social media, how consumed you can get with information, and especially when it's like, finding out a week or two later that it was all a lie or hoax or an agenda that someone was pushing. But I don't know, like that's mattered a lot to me, man. I've really appreciated our department doing that.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. Definitely a shout out to when leadership and times get hard, dude. When people step up, and I got to give it to our upper management and union, man. Just from those. The upper management side is like they're getting just as much information as we are, but they're coming together and they have a meeting every day, labor and management, and putting out those strategic notes. It's just humbling to see like how much they're stepping up and taking ownership and keeping us updated, best practices. It's really, dude, being on an apartment and seeing that, man, it humbled me for sure, man, because they're under stress. They're at the top of it, looking down at us like. They don't want us to get exposed. They're not in the front lines, but they're feeding us great info to keep us safe, man.
Yeah. Well, and even the e-board guys like John, these guys are running all the same stressful calls. They're working the same stressful shifts, and they're still doing this stuff for us. So, I mean, they've really stepped up. I got zero energy to do anything after I'm away from that station. So it's awesome that they all step up and they do take on that extra to help us out, and it's all looking out for us. So we're definitely getting mama hen through this whole thing, and we're getting looked out for. So that part's been awesome. It's been really cool to see that.
It's wild that it's legit every day those guys meet.
Yeah.
Every day from like 3:30 to 5:30 or whatever. It's every single day, and it's not like it's union president, vice president with fire chief, deputy chief. It's like the guys who got a bunch of stuff going on, man. It kind of like makes you step back and like, well, all right, this is pretty serious now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and even like you said, shout out to our upper management that they're away from it. They don't have to be this involved. They just got a kind of overall operation level, but they are very involved and they're very informed. And our ops chief has a meeting, a camera Zoom meeting or whatever it is every set with all the shift captains and talks with us and kind of gives us the lowdown of the latest stuff too that we can pass down to the crew. So it's at the beginning of the shift, so now we can kind of pass any info along too. So they're definitely, you can tell they care and they're looking out for us. And, so thanks to all the labor guys and all the upper management for doing that, for taking on that on top of everything else that they have to do. So.
Yeah, some of that, man, it's just you see it, man, and how appreciated it is, but we don't ever get to hear those words. So, like, we are feeling it on the line, man. I saw Captain Doe the other day get in one of those meetings. He let me sit on it just because I'm a move-up. But it was cool to watch all the BCs, captains, and then deputies sit there and talk. Hey, this is going on. This is where we're at. So I'm grateful, man. Yeah. And sometimes those are non-appreciative jobs when you're up top, feel like you're on your own island. But from the line perspective, we really are filling in. I love the support. Even the battalion chiefs, man, going around or not just doing the video conference, communicating BCDC and updates. So it is grateful. But on the other side, the union too, like you said, man, it is Freiburg and Gilman and our union trustees, Boyce, Liam, and Neil, like how much time they're putting in behind the scenes. Like it is a thankless job, man, and we are so grateful. And that info and emails, Orion and Rocky putting out emails saying, hey, this is how we're doing this update with the EMS OCP. That's another big one. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Our EMS division, our medical director have been awesome too with updating us all the time on the best practices and the safest practice. And as things change, as we say, do this, and then now we're finding out, no, don't do that, do this instead. How flexible they've been and how, understanding they've been of what we're going through and what we're dealing with out here. So them too, just always updating us, always sending out something new, sending us notes to kind of ease our mind and sending us reminders of you need to do these things and not do these things so that you guys stay safe. So even our medical director, Dr. Bradley, she's been awesome with being very flexible with, she understands our patient care is changing. She knows we're doing things different. And she's been there to adjust things and change protocols and be very more understanding of why aren't they doing all these great things they used to do on calls. Now everything is kind of limited. So her too, man, we definitely have had a lot of good support, and we should send shout outs because all those positions, the labor guys, upper management, her, like you said, it's a thankless job, and they only hear the complaints.
Yeah.
They never get to hear the praise, So we need to definitely take the time to do that because it's just like everything. Most jobs, you don't get to hear when you're doing something good. You just get to hear the bad stuff, So thank you guys, and thanks for everybody else, that's really stepped up to look out for us and keep us updated, man, because it is stressful.
And even the paramedics and EMTs, man, on the front line, like you guys staying up to stuff, like, hey, man, we're handling this difficult breathing. We're not using these things, the SVNs, or things that how we can limit our exposures and making that mindset change. Dude, that's stressful right there, especially you new medics. I know a couple guys just got out of school and you're going 0 to 100. Like you're just starting to get your feet wet. And then like, hey, no, now we're doing this. Yeah. I mean, taking that on, that's just not where we're at. That's in the valley. That's valley-wide. All the medical directors are getting together and coming up with the best practice. So even in the valley, we know you're stressful. So staying together, updating each other, man, and have each other's backs, the only thing we really can do right now, man. But it is well respected and appreciative. I tell you that, man.
I think I was here thinking about like how valuable the information is and like the impact it makes. I think about how, in some ways, sometimes it feels like this is like one of the most dangerous things we've dealt with. And I think a lot of going back to the whole unknown nature, right? Like, I don't feel this, like, I don't feel like going into a full-blown house fire. Not really scared, feel well-equipped, like generations of training that's been passed down and knowledge and like a lot of known information, and experience. And so with this, like, it's an interesting like dynamic when you think about how, because it's so unknown, because you don't know if you have it, and because so many people have the risk of you, like, just, man, I stress about the fact that I have no idea like how you can have it and not know it, and you can take it to people you love most,
The scariest is when you can have it, like full bore, fucking have it, and then have no symptoms.
Yeah.
So like you're not gonna get tested because you don't feel anything. You're just carrying it. You're just launching it left and right. That really got me going. Like, whoa, dude, this is like pretty for real, man. Because that's crazy.
Then any way that you can lighten that blow, lighten that stress, such as like just being given information and knowing that people are looking after you, dude, like it makes it manageable, makes you feel like it's manageable.
Even Dr. Glenn, man. Dr. Glenn's been sending out stuff, dude. She's been updating, just for stress or any kind of mental issues or whatever it is, man. You can reach out to her on the West Valley. I know she's working with a bunch of departments out here, but shout out to Dr. Glenn, man, really stepping up and supporting the departments. Even doctors or other psychologists or therapists, whatever, are really helping out, man. There's going to be a lot of stress after this involved with hospital workers, first responders. I mean, even our military guys, man. I mean, I'm sure it's adding stress to them. Like they're trying to protect us as well. So it's just crazy times, man.
Yeah, and to all the silent heroes too, man. The store workers.
Good point.
The,
Such a good point.
you know,
dude.
there's everybody that's still out there. You know,
Bicycle shop staying open.
Yeah.
You need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
The just even things like the people at the restaurants, these servers who relied on these tips, and now they're in there.
Smoke, dude.
They're in there just making meals and handing them out, and that's the way they're making money. So they're having a huge struggle, huge setback for them, but these store workers who are just working like crazy and just getting zero breaks and zero time to kind of collect their and I'm sure they have a high stress level of they're getting exposed to hundreds of people a day.
Crazy.
And so shout out to them, man. They're always still keeping good attitudes, and you can tell they're worn out and they're tired too. So to all those people and to everybody else who's taking this serious, like we talked about before, that's you get to see true character when stuff like this happens, and the whole adversity builds character. Yeah, I heard a good saying the other day that it says, no, it's not true. Adversity reveals character.
Damn.
And it'll show you, and it's true. Yeah. When bad things happen, you get to see the real person. Not a lot of people have bad things happen and they become a different person because of it. They have bad things happen.
Like gouging prices?
Yeah, like stealing masks and trying to sell them, and buying a whole pallet of Clorox wipes and trying to make money, trying to pay your house payment off of toilet paper, and it was. I went to the mailbox the other day or yesterday and saw a sign that somebody put on our mailboxes saying, "I go to the grocery store every Friday. Anybody not able to go to the grocery store, call this number." Tell me what you need, and I'll go get it for you. Yeah, that's the stuff that it just made me feel better when you feel like, man, there's so much ugly things people were doing at first when this happened, and now you're seeing people, the good people, come out. And my mom did this really cool thing. Shout out to Mom. She bought poster boards for the whole block, and had me make a sign that said, "Show our love for the block." Like everybody, draw a picture. Do this with your kids. Adults can do it together. And everybody draw a picture and put a little saying and put it on your front door. So when we all walk down our block or drive down it, you get little inspirational signs as you go, And some of the neighbors are all starting one by one to put them out. And my boys did it, and they had a blast doing it. But it's little things like that, that just bring everybody together. All the neighbors are being really nice to each other, and everybody's saying hi, and everybody's worried about each other. So that's the all the things too, man. On top of everything, everybody we're connected to does.
What about his family, man? The chalk out front of the station.
That was awesome, man. Yeah, Vaca's family, they all came to 3 of our stations, and
she's like, my wife is so disappointed in herself that she didn't go to Australia.
Oh, really?
Because she saw it meant so much to them.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
We woke up in the morning. They came. What time did they come out?
In the evening. They hit up my station. I didn't even know.
Oh, actually,
really? We found out. Well, we found out mid-job because Maricopa unit was dropping off masks, and they're like, "Hey, did you guys see the kids?" Like, I was like, "What kids?" I go up there and it's like, "My kids." It's like crazy, and they didn't. They were trying to stay anonymous. It's funny because sorry to cut you off, but it's funny because I think my oldest signed from the Taimani kids at your guys' station. That you guys is the second station, and my wife is like, "You were not supposed to let them know this and that." It's like. She totally hurt my daughter's feelings. Like, man, relax. She's 9 years old.
Well, yeah. But, so for everybody that they came by and they drew these huge chalk drawings on the front apron where our trucks come out on the concrete, and it had thank you for all you do, and it had a huge sun and clouds and flowers and grass and you could see where all the kids drew their own little thing. All the way down to your little guy. Yeah. You could see a little superhero shaped guy.
Yeah, I could just tell he was holding the chalk like this, just getting it, dude.
Yeah, and Rocky saw it first thing in the morning, and Rocky came and got us all. We were all kind of walking around. He's like, "Hey, did you guys see this out front?" Brought us all out front, and it just instant smiles on everybody's face. Like, "Oh man, that's cool." It was a great way to leave the station that day on a brighter note for you guys to come into that. You guys came in, and we got to see that, and it was neat, and they wanted to stay anonymous, but she couldn't help it. But I told them,
the city posted a video.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
Went to or they like put a little one of their videos together.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Our whole
man.
crew
And-
came out there, dude, and looked at it. Bailey, myself, Pat, and Ryan, we're all out just smiling.
Yeah.
We almost brought up a conversation. I'm like, dang, man, that's so cool.
man.
Flowers
And it just
stuff.
shows too, man. It's just like how much little things the families are doing because they understand. They understand what's going on, and it was really cool, man. It was a good way to leave that day. It's a great way to come in and start and just kind of get your mind right of like this sucks, but everybody's looking out for each other. We're all going to take care of each other. We're going to get through this, and this is all going to be a great story that we have someday. Remember when this happened and all these things that we did for each other.
Yeah, there's a guy or some kids like 6-7 houses down. Like they started doing the sidewalk chalk like a couple weeks ago, and we keep walking. It's on our loop every day. And then like as it kept going on, like they thought it was just going to be over quick. So they had like these candy canes and rainbows, and they left the spot. And then like a week into it, they just draw "This sucks."
All right.
Yeah, my kids drew up mine. They just put "Wash your hands, stay home."
Well, like I think it was a good thinking about seeing the response from the guys and then seeing the city put that and sharing that with my wife and my kids, like seeing how encouraged they were. It was a good reminder for me too about how, like I think about how so often we get praised in the public, or people thanking us for what we do, and sometimes we're not great. We obviously like when it comes to awards and cities, we don't do a good job of highlighting and praising our own people, right? But it was such a good reminder that like, hey man, I'm still as a resident of this city and living here, like I'm still super proud and like the people that are watching over my family when I'm not working, those are our heroes too, Like we're all like, it was just a good reminder because I think about that. Where the people treat us like that in the community, but when I see like a person in military uniform, I always try to make sure I thank them. And same thing with our cops. If I'm off duty and I see them and they don't know who I am, like I'll still go and just like thank them for their service, just because like so many people do so much for us.
I'm not gonna lie, every cop knows who you are. You don't really blend in.
Bro, every time I see him, like if I see a new cop at the hospital or something, I go shake his hand. Hey man, remember this face? You give me a break, please. I love you.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty smart. I need to start doing that in my city. But no, yeah, man, it's been really good, dude. It's been awesome. Tons of support. We wanted to send a shout out. We wanted to let everybody know, give them the praise that they deserve, including the families, including our management, our labor. Everybody deserves it, our medical direction. So we just wanted to make sure we got something out to you guys. So keep on keeping on.
Yeah, thank you. We love it, man. Appreciate it.